Thank you, Chair. We'll call to order the September 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Tilton Located Fire and EMS Fire Station Building Committee to order at 5:30. We're at Tilton Town Hall. Those present: Dennis, Matt, Tim, Chief, Nate, Kevin, Lisa, Paul, not in attendance, Derek. He'll be here, and there is nobody from the public. So we'll start off with the minutes from our last meeting of 9/11. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Make a motion, we accept the minutes of 9/11/25.
Second it.
Open for discussion. So the only thing I saw, and it's for clarification only, but it's old business. On the first page, old business, third paragraph. First sentence, Paul B. stated that the next thing that was discussed was the sensor system. Just for clarification, that's for the climb event. And what the discussion was how does the system know that the truck is started and to initiate its operation. So that's not necessarily a correction, just clarification. Any other discussion?
Yes, page 2, the very last, the line that says Dennis M. stated that Sanborn roads plans have a flat roof. I don't think they did they?
No, what I was
You
reading that.
you must have said something different.
No, what I had said there, the plans that we got had a peaked roof. And what I said was, I thought they were doing plans for a flat.
I think in our discussions, I think Paul, you were on that, and when we discussed the flat roof to Sanborn Road, that it was cheaper to have a pitched roof on Sanborn Road, and I said, well, that's the direction that they're gonna go in. But I didn't put it before the letter.
Right. It was just a question. Because I think it was Matt, you were the one talking about wanting to see about the flat roof, that's why. Yep. I thought we had talked about that. I don't know. Can I just ask the question? So,
Yeah, I just
that's all it was.
think it should be clarified then, right?
Yeah, I guess it would be clarified to say Dennis.
Thought they would have a flat roof.
Thought the plans won't have a flat roof.
Okay, so how should Lauren correct the minutes?
Because right here it says, they say the salmon roofs have a flat, the plans have a flat roof. Dennis asked why the plans don't have a flat roof. That's what I actually just would say. It was answered. The chief said it.
Okay, any other discussion on the minutes from 9/11? So all those in favor of the corrected minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Nate abstained.
Yep.
Okay,
Do you want me to discuss the meetings that I had with them today?
well, let's take a step back. We've had 2 meetings with Lorero since our last meeting. One of them was on 9/16, the other one was this morning. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the meeting this morning. So I'll give a very brief outline of what was talked about on 9/16. We talked about the doors on Sanborn Road and the insulation value. Flat roof at Sanborn Road was a no. the heating system discussion, which we've now received replies on. The earthwork, Ellis was working on that, and I think that's been answered as well. We talked about clear span trusses in the apparatus space and comparing a truss from wall to wall versus one with columns and a beam. And Brian asked for some documents, the survey that we sent to all of the residents, and I also sent him the database of the addresses that all of those surveys went to. And so that was the 16th, so I'll let the chief outline.
Today's meeting was fairly pretty brief. We mostly discussed the issue about the natural gas and the possibility of it not being available for us. And in my email to them, I think we'd probably be okay with Park Street because we already have natural gas there. But Sanborn Road may be an issue. And then I would try to contact Liberty Utilities today. The other half of the conversation was they were showing me different colors of what the fire stations are going to look like. You know, it's going to have like a gray roof and some gray block and some different colored block. And they were asking me, you know, do I want to pick out all the colors? And I said, I don't pick out colors like that because you know, my wife told me that I'm very poor at it. And so I said, you have experts there that are good. I says, try and, you know, make it look like a campus style for the Sanborn Road thing. You know, it doesn't have to be exact, but make it attractive to the eye without being expensive. And that's pretty much, I says, I kind of leaving it up to them. Because they do have experts in how to make it look nice. And I says, I'll rely on your judgment. If we hate it, we'll tell you. I guess that's okay with everybody if we hate it, we'll tell them.
I couldn't even tell you what color the Tilton PD is.
Yeah,
I drive by it every day.
It's brick, isn't it?
Right?
I think it's gray and red or something like that. So I didn't see that as a real important thing. I know it's probably important to some people, but as long as it's not ugly, I think it's probably good with whatever they come up with. Then I spent a lot of the day trying to get in touch with somebody from Liberty Utilities that would speak to me that what didn't go directly to voicemail. So I tricked the system somehow and got a customer service representative who I spoke with for a couple minutes to describe what I had heard and that I wanted clarification on it. And he says, I haven't seen that or heard that, so let me put you on hold so I can talk to somebody that I need to talk to. And I was on hold for 25 minutes and then it went dead. So after I took a breath, I called back, got in touch with another customer service representative using the same trick to backdoor their system, and spoke with Shane, who put me on hold for a good 20 minutes, and then did come back after he spoke with a Catherine, who, I forget her title, I left it on my notes on the desk, but she said, indeed, there are no new construction additions to natural gas north of Concord because they've reached their capacity to provide gas for that. And I says, well, what if we do a one-for-one swap? You know, where we're shutting down Center Street, we can just swap the service from one to the other. And he would not give me her contacts, but he took all my contact information and started a form as if I were asking for a new service. We filled it out and submitted it to her, and he said it's probably 72 hours before they get back to you. So that's, and now I understand Paul had
So
a
I have a friend that works at Liberty, and he works in the distribution department, and he, in fact, said there is a moratorium north of Concord on new services. He is going to forward me the information for the vice president or the manager of the distribution department, such that we can go right to the top and not jump through the hoops that the chief did today. I've yet to receive that. As soon as I receive that, it'll be tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna forward it directly to the chief and we'll hammer him.
Yep.
The fact
I'm not
that
very
we're-
impressed with their phone system.
The fact that we're a municipal safety building, I suspect that we'll get our service in Sanborn Road. It may take some effort, more so than normal, but I'm pretty confident we'll be okay. So that segues directly into one of the emails, the shorter of the emails, which is from Brian to the chief, talking about the different fuels. And having worked in that industry for 6 years, I can honestly say that if we put propane in that building with the piping sized for natural gas, when natural gas becomes available, the switchover will be minimal. The equipment is all the same. There's different types of electronic interlocks. The biggest difference is the difference in pressure between the two gases, and propane typically runs about 3 times higher pressure, so its gas line can be smaller. But if we size it for natural gas, then we can switch over very easily. So, looking at that email of the different types of gas, while propane will be kind of a nuisance, I think it's our best option for switching to natural gas when it becomes available.
I would agree with that 100%.
Can you repeat what you said? The pipe size for propane is
Smaller.
larger or smaller than for
Because-
natural gas?
Correct.
Because it runs at a higher pressure.
So if we install piping for propane,
For natural.
we want to do the piping for the natural gas and use propane if we don't have natural gas.
Natural gas runs at 3.5 inches water column. Propane is 10.5 to 11. So about 3 times higher pressure. So,
The bang's about the same.
yeah, right. The roof lands in the same spot. Why do you say things like that? Why do you even think like that? So with that being said, if you look at that email, which I just looked at a moment ago, it gives public outreach session delays based upon the different types of gases, chief, or the different types of fuels. Do you have another copy that you
I
can
just
get
gave
here?
it to him.
Oh, he's good, okay. So I guess this evening, what we should do is give Lorero direction on what type of fuel or energy source we want to use and have them run with it. Any thoughts or comments?
Only, so the natural gas obviously is gonna be hooked up from the street, where the propane will be much shorter, so I'm thinking about what you were saying, plumb the building for the natural gas, but, and then it's gonna, so the hookup later is gonna be a little more labor intensive for the natural gas.
Not so much. So what will happen is the propane will use a two-stage regulator system. There'll be a tank off the building, 50 feet or 100 feet, and it will reduce the pressure to 2 psi. It will come to the building under that pressure, then there'll be another regulator on the building which will reduce it to 10.5 to 11 inches. When the time comes to switch over, the natural gas utility will come to that same building entrance area at 60 psi. There'll be a regulator in the meter there, and then they'll tie in directly. So,
Right, that wasn't, I'm talking about getting to the building. What does the gas company take care of? I mean, how much work are we gonna have to do? How close to the
they're
road do we?
responsible up to the meter.
Okay, that's all I was concerned about.
Where is the gas line now?
At Sanborn or at Park Street?
Sanborn.
I think it passes right up 132, but I'm not sure.
Not 100% sure on that. I know, like, on Business Park Drive, the gas line comes up behind Home Depot to Business Park Drive and goes up that way. That's the same way the sewer comes in. If the police station has gas, I don't know how they got it. It may be from the street, but I don't know.
Do they?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought,
I wasn't involved in that.
oh, I thought you
It had nothing to do with the PD.
were, somebody here was.
Jason?
Jason, right, he might know.
Oh, yeah, he was on that.
I thought it was someone on this committee.
Not I.
We can find that out.
And there may be a charge for running, if they have to extend the main, there may be a charge for that. And if the chief initiates an application sooner rather than later, we'll know sooner. But when I worked there, they would run 60 feet of main and 60 feet of service for free. I don't know what it is today.
I know when we upgraded Park Street to natural gas, they had to extend the main from somewhere down on Park Street. They came up the street, and I don't believe they charged us for any of the hookup. But it was just, we were just paying for the gas at that point because we converted from propane.
At the end of the day, they're going to treat a commercial customer differently because the usage is going to be so much higher. But I wouldn't want to speculate what those hookup fees would be.
But where we already have it, you're saying at Park Street, we
I would assume that they
just changing
wouldn't.
building.
Yeah, it's just changing the building.
And
The
increasing.
service line going to the building itself may be changed.
Right.
I don't know. Because I don't know where the architects want that service line to come into the building. I know it goes down, if you're looking at Park Street, it goes down the right-hand side of the parking lot, around the back of the building to about the center of the building is where it hooks into now.
But at the end of the day, they may not allow us to increase the load on that service. That right now is a 3/4 inch high pressure service, 60 psi. That should handle the new building load. But
I think it's bigger than that, because I told them we were gonna hook up an emergency generator at Park Street, which ended up being, and the emergency generator for the tower, the fire department side of it, comes off of that line, and they extended it down to the thing.
at the end of the day, that load is minuscule.
Very minuscule, and the only thing that we're running in Park Street currently is the 3 unit heaters that weren't, so it's not that much. I think Sanborn Road would probably, if we had just unit heaters, would probably be 4, and we'd be using it for cooking.
I'll swing by Park Street and see what size the meter is, but it's probably a 250 cubic foot per hour, which is the standard residential one. they can go to a 425 on the same service, no problem. And that's about double the capacity.
Is
So-
gas or hot water as well?
At Park Street, no, we have an electric hot water heater. Because we had to replace the hot water heater several years ago, and that was before we were running propane, and it was just easier to put an electric one in.
And at the end of the day, your hot water needs in that building are minimal anyway.
Yes.
So, all right, so let's look back at that email from Brian with the different types of fuels, and let's discuss that. What I'd like to do is two things, give them a direction on what we're looking for heat and what we want to do for fuel. So I guess it's a combination of both of those emails. One email talks about the fuel, the other email talks about the radiant or the radiant heaters in the ceiling and unit heater. So I'll open that for discussion. Any thoughts?
I mean, is everyone in favor of propane until we get natural gas?
I think that's the wisest move, but
For both stations,
for both, well,
that's where I'm,
yeah.
Well, Park
and-
Street is already natural gas, so we don't have to.
but we haven't built the building yet, so if they won't let us increase.
Do you know anything about a building, a house that burned, and after the remodel, the utilities wouldn't hook them back up because of this?
I'm not aware of that.
I would rule out electric period. I mean,
Is there an option for solar?
ridiculous.
I'm sorry,
Is there an option for solar up there? Big roof.
yeah, I'm sure there is. No,
If we were gonna, if you were gonna consider solar on the roofing, I would change the roofing material to a metal roof rather than asphalt shingles because,
You're poking holes in
Well, both being new, they'll last the same time.
I don't know how long do electric panels, solar panels last?
20-something years, right?
I don't know.
By the time you get paid off, you gotta get.
Yeah,
It's,
Kind of like a building.
exactly. I mean, you know, solar for electric usage, I mean, for lights and all that crap, but for heating,
Yeah, I'm not suggesting, well, I don't know how much energy you can build, I don't know.
yeah, you can't, they talk a good story, but, I
Yeah,
mean, you can't put out kilowatts from solar panels to generate enough heat. Especially to keep a building like this warm, especially in an apparatus bay. You look for recovery, it's not like, I mean.
it would take forever. for
Your
your
every-
storage capacity would have to be enormous.
Yeah, you need another building for the batteries.
Yeah, let's stay away from
That's
that.
hugely expensive. Even like they write right here, it's like, I mean, the capital cost for equipment, for electric heat, the whole 9 yards. It's just, I don't, you know, I've never been pro electric. It's just too much freaking money all the way around.
So, with that, any other comments about the fuel price? So do we think propane is the way to, natural gas first choice, propane second choice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
That,
Yep.
Kevin,
Yeah, I don't know of anything better.
excuse me?
I don't know of anything better.
Okay, so that's what we'll do, chief.
Matt can get us free propane.
No, we can't. It's me. I don't get free propane.
Well, hopefully it won't even be an option. It won't even be a problem.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
it won't be.
usually.
But Chief, what I would recommend is that we tell Lorero to install all of the piping as if it were natural gas.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay. All right, so just what we needed, another huge question mark right at the end.
Well, I'm concerned about public outreach sessions delayed by 3 weeks.
that was my next.
Where
Why?
did I say that?
Well,
That's
says
under
that
propane
in-
recommendation, it's the last bullet. If you pick C, because C's the one not gonna answer, you didn't even read D.
Minimum disruption, GM.
Well, it's still the lowest delay, right? Yeah, 'cause
Oh, yeah,
it's
okay.
5 weeks
It's
for
5
heating
weeks for
oil,
they needed
7
to-
for
In other words,
electric.
they needed a reason to move
That's exactly what
it. But
that's
needed
we
a
don't
reason
wanna
for what?
force, they just
To move
needed a
the
reason
date.
to move the date.
to extend.
They're not ready. And
So,
they're not ready, we're not gonna force it.
right, right. So,
You get one shot at this. Better be a good one. Make it the best you can make it.
I should have seen the 23rd and 30th is out now for October.
that's the discussion. So, what Lorero is saying is that they will not be ready for
The price, because they won't have the pricing, because they'll have to go out to rebid on, from what they have currently. It's all designed for natural gas.
Unless we hear back like tomorrow that we can use natural gas, in which case.
We're not gonna hear anything
Yeah.
from Liberty.
Right, but
Nothing.
they can qualify their answer that says it's based on natural gas, and at this time, we don't know that we're gonna be able to get it, and the price may change.
We will
I mean,
know that.
prices change all the time.
We would know the price before the warrant article was written. If it was gonna change, we'd have to change it at that point in time.
And when you have the warrant articles written in January, right? February?
Yeah, yes, for that.
So we'll know long before that.
I mean, are we talking millions of dollars in difference?
He said the difference between the two is minimal. There's a huge difference to go to electric, is what he told me.
I mean, but that's, I mean, if we plumb the whole building for natural gas, the only difference is right now, if we were with propane, it's just like you said, pretty much fixtures and regulators. I
The
mean, I
interlocks
can't
on
imagine.
propane equipment are much more stringent because propane is heavier than air. It sinks to the floor, so you have additional interlocks and lockouts in the ignition system.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's difference between, a $5,000 boiler and a $5,200 boiler. So,
Right, that's why I can't understand how that really, they're afraid it's gonna add up 3 weeks.
I mean, the GMP pricing, I don't think they need that for the public outreach. They can give a range, I would assume, of cost. And are we looking for the exact amount for the public outreach?
I think we were
Oh, yeah.
heading in that direction, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you,
All
well,
right.
was it between this and that, or was it this, or was it that? I might
It
say,
depends.
okay, for this, but that's not gonna make it.
And if it's this or that on that,
I
what
think
else are you
the
doing?
public outreach is gonna have to be sharp. It cannot be blunt. So we need to have our ducks in a row. So if we were to, you had a meeting last Thursday. Again, I apologize. I had 4 meetings that night. I could only attend 2 of them. There was some comments from the select board about the public outreach being on Thursdays, and don't you know we meet on Thursdays?
Well, and then there was some calendar, they looked at the calendar and realized they don't have a meeting on the first Thursday,
Which can't be because they're not ready.
which isn't gonna be that Thursday.
And
And they were very concerned about what the price was, which we told them we didn't have that yet. And they were the ones who brought up about the propane, the gas not being available.
well, at the end of the day, it's important for us to reach out to everyone and say, if you're a Tilton or Northfield resident, you're welcome at either outreach.
Right.
It's not like the Tilton one is for Tilton residents. So,
And
Jerry,
the,
you
uh,
get that.
the police chief was there and he was very accommodating.
Yep.
I had spoken to him about
And he said that
using
he
it.
had spoken with you.
Yeah. So,
For a place to meet, you mean?
Yeah, using the town hall.
So-
Police department.
so I guess the next question is, do we put it out 3 weeks or do we put it out 4 weeks and give ourselves an
Or do we ask them what their
If our number one option is natural, why don't we assume we're gonna get natural gas and just leave it at that, but if we have to switch to propane, it'll probably only be on Sanborn. I can't imagine that they would let us keep the natural gas at Park Street.
So what you're saying is continue on the present schedule with public outreach?
I would say
They
so.
won't be ready.
Well, if it is, if it's not ready, I don't want them to have it, but if it's ready,
So should the conversation be, we wanna move forward with natural gas as our first choice, hoping that Park Street can continue to be natural gas and worst case scenario, Sanborn Road has to be propane. If that's the case, when can we do our outreach? What works for you, them, Lorero? We would like to keep it as soon as possible.
Well, they gave us, they're the ones who gave us the 23rd and 30th, right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
Plus, I think we
we're
have.
really not, we're really not dictating it.
Right. I think we need to respond to this, what's the backup gonna be, propane? And then we need to respond to the heating system too, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna
Right, yeah,
do
we'll get to that.
next.
So once we've sort of given them direction there, we would hope that they would be able to, in the next week or so, give us dates.
Okay, I'm confused, because we did an about face, didn't we say that we would have them do design it for propane, and then it'd be okay if we switched to natural gas? If it was available.
Yes.
yes.
But then you just said, no, let's tell them we're gonna design it as though we have natural gas. Am I not?
They're gonna install it like it was natural gas, we might just have to do propane.
I thought the
Which is
piping was-
okay.
The piping is for natural gas.
Pipe is for natural gas.
We got-
If the piping is for natural gas, you can switch to propane.
Correct.
Yes.
I thought it was the other way
No.
around. Okay. I'm the one that's,
No.
okay, we got it. So the natural gas piping is larger.
Right, and I'm just trying to get wrapped around, you know, I mean, I just can't help but believe it. I mean, a reasonable person can say, okay, it's like, this is what natural gas is. We're adding this, like, tiny, in the grand scheme of this project, if we had to go with propane afterwards, I mean, the cost difference is freaking, it's like stupid minimal.
Well, it's nice to have the option for both. So if you're going with a larger piping, you've got,
Well,
right?
at the end of the day, the operating costs of propane are gonna be higher because the cost per BTU is higher. So,
Actually, you get more
All right.
BTUs out of oil.
what's that?
So actually, you get more BTUs out of oil than you do.
Oil and propane are 144,000 for oil, 140,000 for propane, gallon for gallon.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't recommend putting oil in anyways.
Um, Now, natural gas is different because it's by the cubic foot. But anyways, so we're in agreement, install as if we're gonna use natural gas. And if we switch to propane, we'll make that decision later. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, next question is, do we leave the public outreach on this present schedule or do we modify it?
That's out of our control.
They're doing
We
it,
have to
right?
hear back from Lorero when they can have everything ready.
I think when I talk to them tomorrow, I'm gonna send them an email tonight after the meeting, or go back to the office. I'll ask them, you know, are they ready if we stay with natural gas using with the interior being piped for natural gas. And if we have to switch to propane because there's no natural gas gonna be available in a year and a half or whatever it is from now that that building would be being constructed.
And if they want to shift the public outreach, get dates,
Yep.
Yeah.
please. Okay, next question. What type of heat do we want?
The warm kind.
So the three options are radiant floor heating, including the apron in front of the garage doors, with unit heaters in the apparatus bay as makeup quick response heaters. Second option is ceiling mounted radiant heaters, no floor heating, and unit heaters as backup. Third option is unit heaters only. That's what the pricing is on that other email.
I'd say we go with option 2, just because price mostly, unless there's a reason to have a heated apron outside the building.
Well, the reason we would have a heated apron outside the building is for plowing purposes. So the way, especially the way the Park Street station is designed, you can't just run the front of the building and push the snow past it. It goes right up against the building, and if you come in the other way, you have to turn to try and get that, and then there's the hose tower that sticks out a little. So you'd be backblading a lot. Whereas if you melt that first 10 feet, there's no backblading, you just push it.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, I mean, but it'd be cheaper for the department to like buy a pair of snow raiders and have someone, or like hire a snow company to use snow raiders to, clear that versus plowing.
Well, it's, except that, snow blowers, roof
No,
No, they're like little stand-on plows typically used for like sidewalks and walkways.
I understand what you're saying.
We have enough equipment.
Yeah.
My concern is your fire truck has to go out in the middle of a snowstorm. That's my concern. And for somebody even to have to plow, it'd be nice if you could just pull out your door. And
Well,
if it's
I
a
think
radiant
if-
slab, you sort of can.
At the end of the day, I think the on-duty personnel would be keeping up with that snowfall.
How far beyond the doors are we looking for an apron? What, do we have that?
About 10 feet.
Right, 10 feet. I mean,
So
so
the heat
you're
is
still gonna
hot.
have to plow through
Well,
snow.
yeah. The
Pick it up.
thing, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. you.
No, I'm just saying, so you only have 10 feet, but you still have to clear all the other snow. So it's not like the guy's gonna clear all the snow, but not 10 feet in front of the doors.
They just won't have to back
I-
back.
Yeah, no, but honestly, the way the snowfalls have been, I mean, not, I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future or whatnot, or what we're gonna have, but I mean, but it goes to my question, is like, what's the efficiency of the different heating systems? Because we obviously, with these three choices, the bigger question for me is, what is the efficiency of a radiant slab? I don't even want to talk about the aprons, but the radiant slab with the 2 unit heaters, because the slab, we're talking the floor inside the building, as opposed to radiant gas tubes inside the building, as opposed to just the
Well,
unit heaters.
The thing to remember about slab heating is the efficiency of the boiler could be very high. It could be 93 or 94% at the boiler. But now you're transferring that heat to the concrete, so your efficiency is going to drop significantly. But if you look at a radiant tube heater or a Resnor unit heater, they're typically in the low 80s for efficiency.
Mhm.
So the overall efficiency will probably be similar. But the thing also to remember is that if we're going to install just apron heating, that means we have to have a boiler for that.
Right.
Specifically for that.
Right.
It's not like we're scabbing another zone onto an existing system.
Like I say, I mean, I've said it before, I have radiant heating in my basement slab, and I have it in my floors. I like it, it doesn't cost me, it's quite efficient, in my opinion. I mean, of course, I haven't lived in a house to compare it, like, you know, do I have another house down the road that I've got oil? No, I don't. But when I say efficiency, I'm more looking like long-term. You know, long-term, is it worth it to save them? You know, the difference between 132,000 and 62,000? You know, that's the question in my
These
mind
numbers seem really
over
low to
time.
me. My gut says that's really low, doesn't it?
That's the price and what they gave us.
Which, that's good.
So the difference between the radiant, say at Park Street, radiant floor is 132,000, and if you just went with 4 unit heaters, it's 50,000. The difference is 82,000.
Right.
It's so. From my understanding, the radiant floor heating is the most efficient of the 3 options, but it costs $82,000 more on the construction. of the
Which,
building.
when you look at it as the percent of the building cost,
It's tiny.
it's like,
But over time, I mean, over time.
so this
I
includes
realize-
the tubing and everything?
Yes.
Nice. And the insulation under the floor.
I think you'll find at the end of the day, the size of the
Replace
boiler
that.
for that will be very small. And it will probably be an on-demand wall heater. Very small.
You're only heating the water up to about 80 degrees,
Right.
is what he told me. So it's not a.
Yeah.
It's not
You
a big lift.
don't
So
cook.
how does the district currently handle snow removal at both stations?
We plow it and shovel it ourselves.
Okay,
We
so
I usually have, if it's a significant snowstorm, I hire extra people to come in and help because you can go crazy, and then sometimes you can't even get to it because you're doing
calls.
calls, and then when you come back, it's like,
The cost difference is so minimal, and if it's the most efficient way of doing
So are
it,
we-
you know, we'd be short-sighted not to pick it. Am I thinking the same way?
I think you are. I think you're thinking right. But it's like, well, if you use that $80,000, will you ever save $80,000 in fuel over?
Over a time period, I would assume you will.
I mean, if you
I
didn't
don't
put
know.
any rating in, you wouldn't have any boilers. Because it would all be just,
Unit heaters.
Unit heaters, then you would pay for the, more for the
Fuel.
fuel to.
Right.
Your operating costs would
electricity.
be high.
I talked to the chief of Mountain Borough. They have radiant floor heating in their station. He loves it, other than the fact that their station's settled.
Didn't break any of those pipes?
Evidently not. But
For the radiant?
Oh, it's
Lucky.
settled?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have to worry about
That's,
that, don't we?
We built it on pontoons.
Takes a lot, that stuff stretches and blows right up. I mean, like, how do you think that radiant pipe's gonna break per se? I mean, it's
No,
gonna be,
I was talking about in Marlboro,
It's
they have a
basically-
separation in the floor.
right, it's gonna be pretty significant.
I mean, it's only, what is it, 5/8?
it's plastic tubing, you know.
Only 5/8.
I don't know what it is. It probably helps hold the floor together.
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of rebar and everything in there too. In fact, the apparatus floor has 2 layers of cross-hatched rebar in the design.
That stuff will
So
take
when you say they get settlement, they didn't get settlement, they didn't get a big crack and have it settled.
No, it was between the station and the
Oh,
doors.
between buildings?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're gonna get that no matter what you do. But if you do your whole apparatus bay, it's not gonna settle in the middle and
No.
I don't think you'd worry. That would be, you'd need something pretty catastrophic to screw up your heating system.
right.
Having that.
So that's through the whole station, right?
No,
No,
just the apparatus.
Just the apparatus bay?
The living quarters, we decided would be a standard forced hot air system.
With
Then
the
you can run
shade.
AC
AC.
through it.
Any other thoughts?
Kevin was just about to say something.
I struggle to believe that's enough money.
That was my thought too, but
I sent them the specific questions, and I was very specific. If you want me to question tomorrow, I can do that. Or tonight when I send an email.
It seems too good to be true.
The price. Well, the tubing's really not that's not the huge cost.
The insulation is.
Insulation, yeah.
Is very expensive.
Well, I mean, it is
We used
double
it
the
at the
price
state
of the
house.
next option, so it's not like it's
It's actually,
cheap.
yeah,
Like it's, you know,
it's
it's
really more than double, almost, depending on which station.
But you want to go with option one just because it helps with
the
snow
only,
removal.
the only other thing that I would be concerned about that we haven't brought up, which is probably the lowest priority, is the Park Street station. Those doors are facing northeast, and you're going to have that corner's going to be shaded all the time. So, you know, it's a nice flat asphalt and the sun shines enough to warm it up, but you're gonna have ice out there. You got a rain gutter supposed to catch everything off the roof, but what if that's all iced up? And you end up with water on the pavement there and.
Right, oh, I'm not against the heated apron. Only if we like pick something different than radiant heat. If we're not gonna go with a
Right.
radiant
It's an
slab.
all or nothing,
to,
right?
to do, I mean, just to have a separate heating system for the aprons, yeah, I'm opposed to that. But I'm more in favor of a radiant heated slab, which if you're doing it, well then 10 more feet outside the door, you know what, and that's included in that 132 grand, so, I mean, I was just dividing it up, depending on which option you choose.
And it'll help the floors to dry.
So-
Going out doing all these calls.
I just think you won't have to shop back the floors.
Alright, so option one, because it's only $100,000 difference, more or less.
Only.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like,
That'll be your $100,000.
I don't think it'll be the deal breaker.
No, this $100,000, you know, but the $100,000 we spent elsewhere 19 other times, it's gonna kick your ass come go day.
And that extra bath.
I heard that before.
It's a cup
Say
of
again?
coffee, right?
Yeah. I said, what's another $100,000?
So, at Park Street, if I recall correctly, we were talking about the apron only on the Park Street facing doors, correct?
No, they would do it on the side as well,
On
wherever the
all
doors are, yes.
And Sanborn Road would be the same? Is that on the front?
In the back,
In the back? Wherever there's a garage door, we're gonna have
10 feet.
Okay. So, do you want to continue discussing, or do you want to take a vote on the options?
Vote.
Get her done.
Okay. Are we good with combining the same system for both stations, or do you want
Yes.
to vote on each station individually?
Before we do that,
Can we talk about Park Street or Senator Sanborn Road?
Yes?
Is Sanborn Road designed that we're not going to be able to push snow or plow like Park Street is?
do what?
That corner.
It's the push
That-
of
The only reason I'm in favor of a heated apron is for Park Street because it's going to be a nightmare plow. If Sanborn Road's not going to be a nightmare plowing, then you don't need a heated apron.
It shouldn't be,
Actually, need.
it shouldn't be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's
There was the
straight.
apron.
You can do a different. You can do a
It
different
is
heating system in a
southeast,
different
right?
building.
Yes.
The doors are on the southeast side.
On Sanborn Road, they're facing east as most.
Smaller buildings, smaller.
Right,
And
you don't have
no
the jog. There's no
There's
jog.
no
right.
jogs.
But the aprons are 6,000. You know, the difference with, that's the 6,000.
Well, I'm saying it's Sanborn Road. You can do a different heating system. I just like the
Good, yes.
the plowing situation sounds like it's going to be a nightmare. I'm already not looking forward to wintertime because of it. Because there's 2 jogs that we have to plow around.
So we
And we
can
have to
do
backtrack,
option
like, that's-
one
to me,
for
it's
Park
ridiculous.
Street, and then
But-
option 2 for Sanborn Road.
So
Do whatever.
I'll,
So. It says something about, sorry, I'm pointing, I don't mean to point.
I don't care. I don't think it fits.
It's about not wanting to have just a heated apron. Or did I not?
because it would require a boiler
Boiler for it.
just for
Right.
that.
Right, I'm
It's a
saying,
smaller boiler, though, right?
I mean, it could be significantly less to just have a heated apron.
that's if nobody wants heated slabs, period. You know what, I mean, is there, I guess that's, we gotta figure out.
I mean, I get the huge benefit of a heated slab. Not if, I mean, a heated apron. Not a fan of a heated slab.
But I mean, at that point, like,
The unit would be
could
smaller.
we just put like radiant, like heat lamps on the outside of the building to like warm up, versus having
Yeah.
to like run
They'd have to be
gas
mounted
inside?
high, you know.
Yeah, I think that, and also I think it would be spotty.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, my interpretation of the heated apron was at Park Street only. That's
yeah.
that's what my thought process has been the whole time. So I was not anticipating heated aprons at Sanborn Road. So let's take the stations individually. So let's talk Park Street first. Option 1, 2, or 3. Everybody understands option 1 is a radiant slab over everything with the apron in the very front and 2 unit heaters for backup.
Yep.
Option 2 is no in-floor radiant tube heaters along the ceiling, no apron, and, well, we could have a heated apron. It just means an additional boiler and 2 backup unit heaters. Option 3 is just unit heaters, right?
So unit heaters and an apron would be 56,000.
I don't think they priced
No, they didn't price the apron on
the apron by itself.
Right.
It says plus 6,000 for the apron.
That's in addition to
That's
the radiant slab.
if you're putting in the radiant slab,
Yeah,
because
the
you've already got a
126 is for the
boiler.
whole system,
Right.
and then you're just
That's
adding
additional insulation
tubing.
and tubing, it's not a heat source.
Would you feel more comfortable having 4 options,
Yep.
which is the radiant, the aprons heated separately for the second 2?
You know, I mean, I don't,
I already know
what would heat those aprons, I mean, I don't know.
You'd have to have a
Would
boiler.
a Renai, with those little Renais, but, I mean, you need one of those per zone.
You would have to talk to the.
Yeah,
the
I think you'd probably need
engineer
2 or
guy.
3 of those
It's
anyway.
gonna be a high efficiency wall mounted unit, it'll be
Right.
right there, it'll be vented through the wall.
Right.
The tubing is gonna go down the wall into the apron.
I've seen
Do
a
we
lot
have
of-
any wall space that it can go in?
They have a room in,
Because it's all doors, right?
no, there's a room in the back of Park Street, for the boilers
In the back.
in the back. And on Sanborn Road, there's a room to the right.
This
So
would
then
fit,
the heat has to
this
run the
would
length of
fit
the
very
building
easily right there.
in the tower.
No, in the
On that
apparatus
wall.
bay, yes.
And that
These-
wouldn't be in your way? That's your access.
That would be backing a ladder into there. Actually, that's the shorter day. These things are only.
They're small, it's like a suitcase on the wall.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but you already got a doorway, as long as you're not gonna, it's gonna project off your wall, right?
Right.
You don't want people, unless it's up high and it's not gonna hit anything, put your head on it.
I would let the engineers design where they wanna put it and
Okay.
No, they don't take up much space at all. It's small.
But it'll be more than $6,000, you'll probably be $10,000, right? Because you're getting, buying your
Well,
own
it
system.
I don't
depends
know.
on it depends on what you get. Those systems are not that expensive, those are nice,
Yeah.
but it's like, how many will you need? You know, because all those, you know, 'cause I don't know if those things, they might make them that do multi-zones. For the most part, most people just use them for like interior, I've seen
And it's electric or is it gas?
gas.
Gas.
Gas. You can get electric ones, but they suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't want to.
Okay. Let's vote on these three options, and then we'll vote separately on the apron or no apron. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Park Street only, option one, or Dennis, option 1, 2, or 3.
I'm an option one guy.
Okay. Matt,
Park Street on option one.
Derek,
I'm not a taxpayer. I don't feel comfortable spending gas.
that's fine, you abstain. Aye.
Option one.
Kevin,
3 with an apron.
I changed my answer to his.
okay. Lisa,
I'm gonna go with option one.
I'm going with option 3, unit heaters with an apron. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So ask them to, on Park Street, total radiant slab with 6,000, with the apron.
got it.
Okay, Sanborn Road, same question. Dennis,
I'm sticking with one.
okay, Matt,
3.
Tim, Nate,
3.
Kevin,
3 with an apron.
Lisa,
3, no,
3 with no apron? I'm 3 with no apron.
Okay,
Three it is.
you got that.
Derek, what did you think?
If I was to vote, I would say 3 for Sanborn Road, and I would say I'm a fan of the apron for Park Street just because it's going to be a pain in the butt. But if you can come up with adjusted unit heaters with a radiant, I'd be for that. Just unless you redesign the building so there's no jogs,
That's not gonna happen.
that's not going to happen. So it's just I can't imagine having to backtrack that every time we go out and plow 4 inches of snow. Unless the town wants to run their snow blower sidewalk plow through. Not gonna happen.
Well,
I
No,
know
we-
earlier we were throwing out in the meeting
Right.
that it was 100,000, no, but it's 70,000. For the option one, it's 70,000 more than option 2. See what I'm saying? Or
yes.
it's not 100,000.
Right.
No matter what, you're spending a minimum of 50.
Right.
So did we say aprons or no aprons
Apron,
at Sanborn Road?
no, it's no. Well, I think what we voted was unit heaters with no apron. Is that what you intended?
No. I was just curious because a lot of it seems to be around the plow. So I know
Well,
not back dragging
You know,
and stuff.
now that you mention it, a portion of the vote did not include the no aprons, and then a portion of the vote did. So at Sanborn Road, you voted for option 3.
No, I voted for option one.
I'm
I was the
sorry.
only one.
Okay.
No,
All right. Matt,
I was 3.
do you want aprons or no aprons? Tim?
I was 3 with no aprons.
Okay, Nate with snow apron,
Yeah.
Kevin with snow apron.
No, Kevin was with me.
I'm the apron guy.
You're the apron guy, okay. Lisa was
No,
snow apron and Paul was snow apron.
But that's
So-
because we don't anticipate backdragging anything at Salmon Road, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if it's easy to plow, like,
So,
I'm just saying, like, if we have to plow, if we're gonna have to shovel 20 feet out
Right,
every
no, I get
storm
you.
for 4 inches of snow,
This is
I'd
the
rather.
issue right here.
Oh, no,
Shovel
I
two.
understand, and that's why, I'm in favor of like the
Yeah.
apron and stuff, but we're making a decision, you know, some of the decision we're making, I'm hearing was based on plowing.
yes.
Right, and I totally understand that, because, you know, with plowing, it's not so much the ease of plowing also, it's the value of the doors, and if you have to back drag, you know what, you're pulling up to the damn door, so, I mean, it's, I'm not saying you guys can't plow, but I mean, I've hit shit before, I mean, I'm pretty good with my plow, but, yeah, so, that's the, I see the value in having the snow clear in front of the doors,
If we can,
because they're gonna be expensive
But
doors.
I'm thinking about the drawing with the pavement up at Sanborn Road. You're not gonna be able to plow across the front of them at Sanborn Road.
Well, that's my
Pavement goes
point.
up to the doors.
does it? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the assumption that, you know, so when we're looking at aprons and
it's gonna
stuff, I
be
mean,
grass
that's,
on both sides, I think. Or
If
bushes.
truck can get in there and plow in front of the doors, that's great, but the way Park Street is, it's designed, it has that little jog for the, it's gonna be a nightmare, and the building comes out, doesn't it?
Right.
So many feet, 20
Yes,
feet?
Yep.
Yeah.
but a $6,000 to $10,000 option is way cheaper than replacing doors.
There'll be many things that hit that door more than snowfall.
It could be, but I mean,
I hope not.
let's.
Are you gonna have
let's-
bollards?
Yes.
Yes, and then nothing
Oh.
should be hitting
I'm
the
sorry, I didn't mean
doors.
that, I just.
There'll be
wanted to bring that point
bollards
up,
by
though.
the doors as well. That's gonna keep you from getting, you know, unless you're getting right to the door, but, you know, in between the doors, there'll be bollards. Protect the building.
So I mean, should we do unit heaters with a radiant apron at both buildings then? Because the bollards and the grass and the Sanborn Road might not be easy to plow either.
I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, I think both stations should be the same, I don't think we should have different, you know. I mean, if option 3 is the best thing for, we should just do option 3 on both of them with heated aprons, in my opinion. If we're not gonna go with a heated slab on the inside
That's
at
what
one,
we're
we
gonna
should just
push
say,
that out.
full go with that.
I mean, I'm sure heated slab, the heated apron is probably still cheaper than 132 and 136,000 with just the heaters.
But that's that other.
So I would think so.
Absolutely.
Even if it adds $10,000 or $15,000, it's still saving us money.
Well, so I mean, it's only $12,000 more for the radiant gas tubes with the 2-unit heaters. So it might only be $15,000 more to do the unit heaters and
We're not
the
going
apron.
down that. If we don't know, then we shouldn't speculate.
Right.
So am I hearing that we wanna reconsider and have unit heaters with the apron at Sanborn Road?
Yes.
I'm sticking with my vote.
As am I. Kevin was with the apron. Nate, you're saying now you want it with the apron?
Yeah, well, I think it'll be helpful for the shoveling and plowing.
Tim?
I guess I'm gonna stay no apron.
This is just for Sanborn Road?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll I'll agree with Kevin this time. I don't really want to.
Okay,
There's 2 people in the same meeting.
Dennis?
You know, need protective vests.
If
It's
we're
fine.
going,
Get that highlighted in the minutes.
So with the aprons,
we decided that we're gonna use the unit heaters, apron or no apron.
I would say no.
Okay,
So we all decided that we're going with unit heaters.
correct.
You can always ask the cost of the apron, and we could make that decision later. If it's a huge amount, or are we just guessing? Because you were saying you're voting for it with it, but you don't know the cost. Or it's not cost-based in your
Okay.
mind.
Chief, do you mind asking?
I'll ask.
Okay,
I think the aprons might be a tough sell to the public though.
Well, they're not picking and choosing every little thing.
No, I understand that, but when it comes up, being at a lot of these district meetings, somebody gets something in their head.
It's a liability thing. You know,
Yeah,
we don't have
There's-
somebody
we don't
slip
have
and
a
fall. and-
Operations.
right.
There's many things that they're gonna question, and this is probably not one. I mean, when you think of operations and safety,
But it's like I said, we'll go back to the Tilton School property. That was pretty much lost on why are they getting access to the property they've given us.
yeah, you can't predict.
No, but I'm just, sometimes petty things win.
okay, so Chief's got it, you'll distribute an email when you hear back to the committee.
Yep.
And we'll readdress this apron or no apron next time. Does that, am I summarizing that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Next thing, we're considering the elevations and the floor plans as being final now. They're working on it. No changes to either of those, correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay. I've got two questions. One of them is Tilton Northfield Aqueduct. Now, I brought this up at the last meeting, and the chief's comment was, it's not a big deal, we'll find out what it costs later. What I'd like to do is approach them and discuss what their impact fees are gonna be for connecting both at Sanborn Road before the hydrant and upgrading Park Street. I don't-
I think that's all in line on their tariffs fees schedule, but I'll look at it tomorrow.
It's all based on pipe diameter size. So different size piping has different connection fees.
Well, I think that's gonna be an important number because I don't think there's anybody in Tilton or Northfield that hasn't been impacted by Tilton Northfield aqueduct shenanigans. So we need to know what those shenanigans are before they're dumping the water. Last thing, a week ago, the commissioners and myself met with the Northfield Board of Selectmen to discuss this project and bring them up to speed on it. And one of the selectmen asked a very poignant question, which was, what are your operating costs gonna be? And that is something we have not discussed at all. And I think for public outreach, we're gonna have to come up with some manner to describe what it's gonna cost on a yearly basis to run these buildings. So if that's something that Lorero can help with, I think that's a number that we better have in our pocket.
I already posed that question to Lorero, and they're working on it.
Did they ask specifically operation cost of the building or the operational cost of the district?
I don't recall it
After.
being that specific.
I think,
Save the rest of your question.
Did they ask about the operational cost of the building or the operational cost of the district after the building was built?
I took it as
There's a big difference.
they were looking at what the increased operating costs were gonna be with the new buildings over what we're currently paying to operate the existing buildings.
That was my impression.
mine too. How much is it gonna cost to heat the building compared to what we're building, heating now?
Did Ross ask that question?
Yes.
I bet he's talking about the whole budget. 'Cause
Heat,
that's the nut you gotta crack.
maintenance, cleaning supplies.
That's the nut you gotta crack. Cause there's more to it than buildings.
Well, I can clarify that.
And that's the thing, we get two buildings and we can't man that one, it's like pissing in the wind. I mean,
Say that one more time.
I said it perfectly. It's senseless if we get approved for buildings and
And
we
that's
can't
what
get
we need
approved
to
for the manpower.
understand, that there's more to this than putting these buildings up. And honestly, I think putting the buildings up is probably not the biggest deal of it all.
So
You-
don't let
you-
the
if you need more
operating
people, you need more
budget
space. You got no space, you can't have more people. So
Keeps the
the
budget
only
down.
number that makes any sense is what does the whole thing cost?
I'll email Ross and clarify that for our next meeting. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't hurt to have both those numbers. All right,
And in 5 years, our call volume will be up drastically compared to what it is today, so.
Well, my question was asked at the
You'll
Tilton
need-
meeting
You'll need help.
about having all this, dorm space. It's like, well, and we had the deputy chief's report where it showed the call volume over the last 10 years. It's obvious that we're gonna need to hire more people, it's just when? Is that next year, or 3 years, or 5 years, or?
I mean, do we currently even have the space to hire
No.
more people?
We don't, that's why we can't.
Yeah, so
Right,
it's
right.
not even, it's a conversation that they're not having because
Which,
we don't have
if
the
you go back,
opportunity.
if you
You
go
have a
back,
camper?
What?
You have a camper?
well, we just sold
Isn't,
the,
isn't there one parked over?
Did you sell that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you get for it?
2,600.
$2,600,
Guy,
what are we
guy
talking
drove all the
about?
way from Pennsylvania to get it.
Yep.
which is
For you,
funny
let's get
because
this back.
the municipal auctions
What are
are
we
also in
talking about?
Pennsylvania.
but it goes back to the 50,000 foot view on this whole project. If we were to ask the district to build a building, and we end up paying for it over the next 20 years, and the need comes about in 5 years that we need to hire more firefighters, we're not going to be able to come back and ask the district for another building or to do a major remodel when you're already still paying for the one you're in now, which was part of the thought process here. We're going to do this in phases, and by the time we get done, we will likely need those additional firefighters, and we will have the space for them.
I had that conversation with my wife the other night. I said, the crazy part is, if we, I gotta think back to how I put it, but you say you take a 20-year bond, 20-year bond. Things are going to change probably in the next 5 years. Some things will change. It's going to change in 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. But it seems kind of crazy to vote. I've always thought to vote on a price that may be, you're going to be, here you are, halfway or a quarter way through paying on a bond. And if you bond something that's inadequate for the next 5 to 10 years, it's like, it makes a whole project moot as far as I'm concerned. It's like, why would you ever enter a project that might be obsolete before, or,
By the time you're done building.
yeah, so it's like, great, now, 10 years, I would say, so 5 years from now, yeah, if we go with this plan, it's probably gonna be 5 years. So in 5 years, the district does a whole flip-flop, it's like, great, we weaned ourselves down to the present day needs here again, to meet a price point. And in 5 years on, like I said, a half or 1/4 of the way through paying on our bond, we're obsolete.
We're in the situation that they've already made the directive for present and future needs.
Right.
Correct.
We've gone down that path.
Right.
At the public information, I think it's the commissioners, well, everybody, but more so need to explain.
Right.
how they
We're,
arrange
we're a
that.
committee of the commissioners. We were given a mandate by them, which was originated between the chief and the deputy chiefs, accepted by the commissioners and passed to us. That's the only thing we're doing, is we're responding to a request from the commissioners. Now, that request was based in some extent upon the survey results. So we're not going into this blind. And it's important that that be brought to light.
We don't wanna revisit it again.
No.
Is there anything else we need to discuss tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
At
Lisa.
at the last meeting, well, I got a couple of things. Remember the handout you gave at the last meeting, but I didn't have a chance to go through it. We talked about special inspections, and you said that they were carrying that in their price. It
Depends
is-
upon what special inspections.
It's material testing, the IBC special inspections, which is required by the code.
Right.
I'm sorry, is this the site narrative that
It
you're talking
is, yes, on page, they didn't number their pages, so it made it hard.
about? Wait, yes, they did on the narrative. You're on something.
I'm on this.
Okay,
You gave us last, let me see.
that's the ROM.
It's- The first page is phasing. I don't know if I've got them in.
Okay, it's this one, right?
Yes. So if you go to,
You guys see that, it's this document.
I guess it's the fourth page. No, it's not the fourth page. I have other comments on this document, but it is the page right before the pricing that says what they excluded. And they specifically say are not included, and they say material testing or special inspections. So we're gonna have to hire the testing agency and the special inspector.
So we'll have to pay for it for sure. But you think
Correct.
that they would probably have the people that we should hire to do that? I don't think you're not.
It's a conflict of interest, that's why I questioned it last time. They're not allowed to have their own people do it. The state has actually dictated, it's a conflict of interest to have the contractor inspect their own work.
I would hire somebody else to do it? Is that, because we have, like in, the building, the new hotel,
Yeah.
we do all the inspections for
Yeah.
the fire, life safety, but what we do, we make them hire a fire protection engineer to go over it before we go over it, and we don't change anything the fire protection engineer says to do.
But they hire an independent fire, not their design
It's not,
engineer.
no,
Okay,
separate.
so it has to be a separate party.
Yes,
But the way I understand the code is the contractor cannot hire the special inspector, because then they can say, well, I'm not paying you, you're not giving me, you can't have the money go through the contractor. Now, if they're doing it over there, they're doing it on the fly.
they hired and paid for, or the owner paid for the fire protection engineer, maybe not the company that built the,
Okay, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
yes, but the contractor cannot hire them.
so we would have to have a line item
We
for
would
that
have to
type of
have a
stuff.
line item, that's, so I was just pointing that out. And you had said, no, it's all covered, so it's not, so we'll have to have a line item for that. And they also, they excluded the builder's risk insurance, I assume that you're gonna
something.
have that.
Yes,
Then there, the permits, are we gonna have stormwater drainage permits and all that? They were designing it per that.
I don't know. I know there's,
They have,
it's designed, they have retention ponds and stuff like that, so I don't know.
do we need a permit from the state?
Don't know.
Okay. Because if we do, it costs more money than, they're saying they're excluding. And that can be a money.
I would assume we'd need some like NHDS permit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which item
That
is
was on item 4,
Hmm.
where it says municipality, or basically they're not including permits. So, it just may be a cost that we should be aware of, if they're not actually filing. To file for the permits is a cost. You gotta have the right people, engineers, so they would be the right people to pay. I'm just saying, they're saying it's not included.
Are you
Yeah, if they have to
concerned
hire
about
like a wetland
that
scientist
at all?
or something, that might be extra.
So my
Well,
question to them,
thought we
with
already-
all the outside inspectors, inspections and permits, what is the cost we should carry for all those that were listed?
Right.
Yeah.
And they have some other weird stuff they excluded. Do we know if we have radon extraction system?
No, there's no basements.
And then there was another weird one. You're getting stainless steel cabinets?
Yes,
Really?
in the kitchens.
Do you think they're a pain to keep clean?
They're a pain to keep replacing because residential style cabinets don't really get in a fire station.
You know, all these people that work for us all have homes, residential cabins, and when they come to work, they can't have.
It doesn't. they
Well,
don't
nobody's
last.
cooked a meal in my kitchen in days. These guys are eating 3 meals a day there. Every day.
Mine was built by Nut Cabinetry.
Mine
So they're quality.
Anything else, Lisa?
No, I think some of it is just the boilerplate stuff, so I was kind of questioning that, but
So that's on your list?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
it's the major.
Motion to adjourn.
Anyone else have any thoughts or concerns? Okay. Nate has made a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Next meeting, okay. Let's vote on adjourn and then we'll
Well,
talk.
we're not going to
Can't
discuss
talk
site
about
plan.
the next meeting after you adjourn. That's a
We
plan
didn't say aye.
of the meeting.
I didn't say aye.
We didn't take the vote, but the vote is on the table.
All right, next meeting,
29th. Yes, no.
So we,
today is the 22nd. So our next meeting on my calendar is October 7th.
I have the 29th,
We talked about the 29th, but we didn't
September
set it in
29th.
stone.
Okay, so let's do the 29th next Monday, 1 week from tonight at 5:30. The following meeting will be Tuesday the 7th,
Correct.
and
We had the 27th. We had Tuesday the 7th and the 27th.
That's
and
correct.
27th also.
The 7th, I will not be here. Be informed, so.
The
so what's after the 29th?
October 7th.
Tuesday.
So they don't need any response or review of this and
Those
stuff that they gave
they
us.
sent, but he admittedly said to me they weren't ready.
Okay, back to our motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. All right, we'll see you all next Monday.
What time are we adjourned at?
6
$655.
$655, thank you.
He's actually my first cousin once removed.
Pretty much a stand-on.
Yeah, I always thought they called
plow
him your second
and
cousin,
also,
but if it's your parents' cousin,
expensive
it's
ice
still your
plow
first
for
cousin.
in
It's your
Okay.
parents' first cousin, it's your first, so
brine
as
solution.
a child,
So,
you'd be first cousin
In
once.
certain instances, like it can replace a plow for